There is a version of you built by accident, by apologies, by old pain, by borrowed opinions. Its foundations are weak. Its rooms are filled with ghosts. You have tried to renovate, to paint over the cracks, to rearrange the furniture. But the structure itself is unsound. It is time, not for renovation, for demolition, and for the solitary, sacred work of laying a new foundation, stone by chosen stone. This is not an act of violence. It is an act of integrity. You are not losing yourself. You are returning to the raw material, to build what you were meant to be. This is not a philosophy of comfort. It is a philosophy of the forge. It understands that before there can be creation, there must often be a clearing. The old you is not your enemy. It is a collection of habits, judgments, and fears that have outlived their purpose. They are strategies that worked for a child, a past version, in an old world. Clinging to them now is what keeps you fragile. The Stoic does not flee from this necessary destruction. They consent to it. They understand that the most profound growth is not additive, but transformative. It requires a return to zero. To sit alone in the emptiness of your own potential and ask, with ruthless honesty, what here is mine? And what is merely rubble I have been carrying? The demolition begins with the inventory of judgment. Your mind is filled with unconscious verdicts. I am not good at that. This is too hard for me. I need to be liked to be safe. These are not truths. They are sentences passed by a jury of your past experiences. You must become both the judge and the appeals court. One by one, you drag these verdicts into the light. You examine the evidence. Is this a fact of nature, or a story I agreed to tell myself? You revoke the sentences that limit you. You silence the inner prosecutor. This is the first act of demolition, tearing down the courtroom in your own mind. Next, you dismantle the temple of external approval. This is a fragile structure, built on sand. Every brick is a compliment, a fearful adjustment of your personality to fit in. Its pinnacle is the opinion of others, and it is always crumbling. You must topple it. This is the loneliest and most necessary work. It means standing in the cleared space and accepting that you may be misunderstood. You may be disliked. You may be ignored. And you must decide that your own standard, the standard of virtue, of reason, of integrity, is the only approval that will ever matter for the new foundation. You build for an audience of one, your own future self. Then, you must expose the machinery of fear and pleasure. The old you is largely an automaton, reacting to the twin levers of what it wants to avoid and what it wants to attain. Much of your behavior is not chosen, but triggered. The Stoic task is to open the panel, see the wires, and begin the rewiring. You learn to pause between the lever pull and the reaction. You ask, does moving toward this pleasure align with my character? Does fleeing this discomfort serve my purpose? You slowly, manually, replace reactivity with response. This is the painstaking work of becoming a human, not a puppet. Now, the site is clear. The rubble is hauled away. You are alone with the blueprint of your principles. This is the sacred, solitary work of the reconstruction. The first stone you lay is the principle of perception. You build the unshakable habit of seeing events as they are, not as your fears or desires paint them. This becomes the level ground on which everything else stands. Upon this, you lay the stone of the discipline of desire. You build the walls of your new self from what you truly value, the desire for courage over safety, for justice over advantage, for self-mastery over indulgence. Your wants are no longer random cravings, they are the chosen materials of your character. You raise the pillars of right action. In every situation, you ask the architectural question, what is the action of the person I am building? And then you perform that action. Not for effect, but for integrity. Each right action is another brick, mortared with consistency. Finally, you cap it with the roof of a more fatty, the love of fate. This is the acceptance that every piece of debris from the old demolition, every challenge on the new site, is perfect and necessary material. You would not have it otherwise. This love is the sealant that makes the structure waterproof against the storms of fortune. You will work in solitude. Others cannot do this for you. They will not understand the noise of the demolition or the quiet of the foundation laying. This is your work alone. But from this aloneness comes an unshakable strength. The new structure is not a house of cards. It is a citadel. It does not rely on the weather of other people's moods. It is defended by your own reason. The old you is gone. Not mourned, but thanked for its service. It brought you to the empty lot. Now, you are the architect, the mason, and the dweller of a self built by intention. Every storm becomes a test of your craftsmanship. Every wind proves the soundness of your design. The world did not change. You did. You ceased to be a tenant in a borrowed, broken-down building. And you became the sovereign of a kingdom you built yourself, from the ground up, on ground that is finally, irrevocably, your own. Begin the demolition. Embrace the empty lot. Lay the first stone.